had an upgrade. Hi.
We are binary.
She's not, because the doctor's
Male
and female.
And neither. And more.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 923,000 awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. It looks like for the last time we need to talk about the cautionary tale and the casualty of the culture war known as Doctor Who. A show that has been around for 60 years in one form or another, yet for the last few, it's been a zombie. Doctor Who anniversary specials used to be fun and whimsical affairs, where past and current companions would team up with past and current versions of the iconic Doctor, a man with many faces and simply the greatest protagonist ever to be depicted on television, played by competent actors who were able to pull off the nutty professor, who's the lonely god with the 1,000-yard stare, at least up until the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. The Doctor used to be a positive male role model for all, possessing a trait that is valued above everything else in British culture, even beans on toast. And that's being smarter than the next guy. That's right, what made the Doctor such a great role model is he beat the bad guys by being clever. It had a great initial run, then it took a little break, and then it did the inexplicable. It captured another generation and did the one thing it could never do in its previous iteration: breakthrough in the States. Doctor Who merchandise was everywhere, and the cosplay took over Comic-Cons, culminating in a brilliant 50th anniversary special. That's where it peaked. We had diminishing returns, which led to the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. Returns diminished some more. It almost got canceled. And we're finally at the 60th anniversary where they're begging for the old fans to come back and new fans. Or are they?
She's brilliant. She's got this beautiful daughter. She's happy.
The Meep is all alone.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Sometimes I think I'm from a different planet.
Yes, the Meep. I promise I can help him get home and then you'll never see me again.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
True. Yes, sorry, good point. Are you he or she?
Or they?
My chosen pronoun is the definite article.
We are binary.
She's not, because the doctor's
Male
and female.
And neither. And more.
We've still got to fix you two. Because the meta-crisis might have slowed down, but that thing is wrapped around your cortex.
Yes, we know. We know everything. Thanks. And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood.
We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Imagine how much fans love new things and will really rejoice when this happens.
In brief, the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials have been nothing short of an unmitigated disaster. In the Children in Need special, and with the following comments from series showrunner Russell T Davies, we learn that one of the Doctor's greatest villains, Davros, has been completely retconned and sacrificed to the goddesses of political correctness. In the first official special, The Star Beast, instead of telling us a good new story, they undid a good old story by completely destroying the Dr. Donna. Also, they can turn it into a delivery mechanism for the message.
Binary.
Non-binary.
Binary.
It is ma'am.
In the second special, Wild Blue Yonder, apparently Sir Isaac Newton isn't white. To be fair, this goes back to the late Stephen Moffat era, especially in season 10 when the show really started going woke. Moffat said there must be new ways to get ethnic minority actors on screen in the future. We've kind of got to tell a lie. We'll go back into history and there will be black people where, historically, there wouldn't have been. And we won't dwell on that. We'll say to hell with it. This is an imaginary, better version of the world. By believing in it, we will summon it forth. And now that philosophy is spread into historical dramas like with Anne Boleyn and Cleopatra. Not really sure how that helps. History's filled with enough lies already. We don't need to lie about the stuff we know is true. Unless you're trying to show diverse women can also be beheaded and enslave people. And I've seen some of the response responses to this, particularly on Twitter. What does it matter if they race or gender swap historical figures? It's just a fictional show. Well, apparently it does matter to showrunner Russell T Davies. From the New York Times back in 2021, should straight actors play gay roles? A Star TV writer says no. Russell T Davies, whose latest hit series It's a Sin on HBO Max made waves in England by saying only gay performers should play gay characters. I'm going to war, he said.
So you needed to get your story straight.
Oh, by the way, we learned that the 14th Doctor, played by the very straight David Tennant, is gay. But the worst offense of the second full special was reaffirming the timeless children.
So where are you from?
Well, we've done that. We talked about that. Back there, out loud. All four of us know it's Gallifrey.
Except it's not.
What do you mean?
You don't know where you're from.
How do you know that? How does anyone know? How does Dawn know?
So the previous special was a pointless bottle episode that felt like filler in a 3-episode 60th anniversary celebration. This brings us to the final episode, The Giggle, which is a boring contrived episode where you're only kept from falling asleep due to the occasional cringe. The toy maker finally makes his triumphant return in live-action Doctor Who since the first Doctor era of William Hartnell, and I don't give a shit when any of these people say William Hartnell is still the first Doctor. The previous version of the toy maker was played by Michael Gough, who you may know as Alfred.
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
From the Burton and Beyond Batman films, this time around he's played by Neil Patrick Harris, who essentially, along with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, is wasted. The toy maker has come to Earth to play a little game with humanity by driving them to distraction, by convincing everyone they are right, by embedding a subliminal giggle in the puppet that was in the first TV image created by John Logie Baird, who they did not race swap because the BBC probably didn't have to fill any diversity quotas this episode. And this is totally not supposed to remind you of the Master from Russell T Davies' run, subliminally manipulating the British public with the Archangel Network.
Oh, it's not a tune. It's a laugh.
It's a puppet.
They giggle in everyone's head.
They've got 15 satellites in orbit. Even the other networks, they're all carried by Archangel.
It's in the phones. Oh, I said he was a hypnotist. Wait. Hold on. There it is. That rhythm, it's everywhere.
But not to worry, because this plot point gets completely forgotten after the first third of the episode. Again, MPH was completely wasted in this. His fake German accent was funny at times, but then it felt like I was just watching an unfunny version of Beerfest.
Ja.
Enough.
I wondered which one of you had the balls.
Ah! Your grandfather was no Van Wolfhausen. Your grandfather was a thieving bastard stable boy.
What did you say?
What could have been a mind-bending, surreal Doctor Who episode ended up turning into an incoherent bore-fest. Turns out the toy maker just came to Earth to F with humanity, to find the Doctor and play games with them. Our unit super scientist wheelchair lady is back, and despite unit having a laser beam that can fire into space and an AI droid, they still can't manage to put a motor on her wheelchair. Old 6th and 7th Doctor companion Mel returns, which is cool, but she just falls into the background along with super scientist wheelchair lady Kate Leftwich Stewart and Donna Noble, so we can have 4 women balancing out the male presenting Doctor. To be fair, this is something that goes back to the mid to late Moffat era as well. As far as being a delivery mechanism for the message, the giggle is not as bad as the Star Beast, and Wild Blue Yonder wasn't as bad either, but it still had its moments. There was racism commentary.
I really must apologize for the rain. You must be used to sunnier climes.
There was commentary on the unspecified virus whose origin is completely unknown.
Can't you give everyone a Z-Dex?
Imagine trying that.
We're using this to control us and monitor us and microwave our brains. I am anti-Z-Dex.
And it wouldn't be RTD's Disney Doctor Who without one more of these.
Just can't turn down my favorite niece.
Ah, niece. I like that.
But there is one interesting thing when it comes to the timeless children. Once again, and I'm not sure why, for those of you who are just watching this video for me and don't give a crap about Doctor Who, again, thank you. The Timeless Children is a complete retcon of the Doctor's origin, one that me and many other Whovians completely reject. According to the hack Chris Chibnall, who wrote this monstrosity, William Hartnell is no longer the first Doctor. The first Doctor is now a diverse little girl who was abandoned at a space portal, who was kidnapped by a strong woman of science, who wasn't very good at supervising children because she allowed the small little diverse girl to play on top of a cliff, which she slowly and peacefully fell to her death from. After the little diverse girl regenerated, the female scientist kidnapper decided to kill her over and over again to steal her regeneration. Also, this retcon could be some sort of allegory for cultural appropriation while showing a woman doing science. Sure, it was evil science, but we need women in STEM, even evil ones. So, in the episode The Giggle, some people are interpreting this scene as a retcon of the Timeless Children.
I came to this universe with such delight. And I played them all, Doctor. I made a jigsaw out of your history. Did you like it?
I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, but considering Russell T Davies himself said he would not erase the Timeless Children and he just reaffirmed it in the previous episode, I think it's highly unlikely and I definitely won't be holding my breath.
There's a little moment here which makes me think that here there's the moment where the toy maker says, I made a jigsaw out of your history.
Oh, yeah.
Which again is part of his whole loosening the rules. The Doctor first, was the Doctor half human when he was Paul McGann?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a timeless child? Is he this? It just relaxes the rules, say he is whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Or it's all true, and it is all true.
Personally, I think that just opens the door for more retcons, which I won't be watching. Ultimately, it comes down to writing, and it's pretty clear old RTD has completely lost it. Because if you remove the message from all three of these episodes, they still suck. The only thing that held anybody's interest was David Tennant and Catherine Tate, and I thought it would be hard to criticize something they were in, and turns out it wasn't. You see, there's a difference between fan service, a term that the Access Media uses as an insult that I have no problem with, and nostalgia bait that I certainly have a problem with. Picard Season 3 was very satisfying. It had a ton of fan service, and I'm completely okay with it. This was the very definition of nostalgia bait, using David Tennant and Catherine Tate to hook you into something you would not normally be interested in. And if it's this bad with them, how bad is it going to be without them? And we aren't even done with the bad from The Giggle. So what does the Doctor Who 60th anniversary that was supposed to be a celebration, but it ended up being gaslighting, devolving into pure boredom, end with? Pure cringe. The first of which is the Bi generation.
What? What are you guys doing to me? Shut up.
You heard me right. Not regeneration, Bi generation. Real subtle. Essentially, the toy maker kills the 14th Doctor and then he bi-generates, which really means he gives birth to a black man without his pants on out of his penis. That's right, Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor is here and they're still touching pee-pees, aren't they? By the way, according to Russell T Davies, the moment the 14th and 15th Doctor bi-generated, so did every other Doctor. And Russell T Davies came back to write really bad fan fiction. I'll let him in his own words explain how stupid this sounds.
So nuts. So a whole timeline bi-generated then.
That was it in that moment.
Yes.
The toy maker did
Sylvester
it.
McCoy woke up in a drawer in a morgue in San Francisco.
Unfortunately, nobody's got him out yet. So he's still in there.
Constantly regenerating. Dies over and over again.
No, they didn't fix the Timeless Children officially, but they did officially make things worse. But the cringe doesn't end there. The 14th and the 15th Doctor challenge the toy maker to a game, which he accepts and then farts.
I accept your challenge.
And that final battle, that 3 really boring episodes of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary culminate in a game of catch. Now, it's bad enough watching British guys throw a ball, but it turns out 2 of the 3 are pretty good at catching. And we get a happy ending. The toy maker is defeated, there are 2 living doctors, and they both have a TARDIS. I'll let Screen Rant explain this, considering this is who the episode is written for. Shudigawa's doctor definitely appears to have the same memories as David Tennant's doctor, referencing everything from Sarah Jane Smith to the devastation of Legopolis to the death of Adric. So it certainly seems he retains those memories and that knowledge, but has managed to move past the emotional baggage of all that pain and loss. That emotional baggage that makes the Doctor an appealing character, one that people have loved for decades. This would freshen up Doctor Who for the Shudigawa era, getting rid of that emotional baggage, which quite frankly is the Doctor, and filling that baggage full of identity politics and activism. With the time traveler being put back on foot again, well, don't get ahead of yourself there, learning and reacting to each new situation instead of being the slightly insufferable know-it-all that previous incarnations could be. Written like a true hack poser from the Access media. So all of that baggage will be gone, and just in case you didn't catch the subtle hint, they're telling the old fans to either get on board or get off. Well, there was a very valuable lesson I learned while selling comics. While reboots or retcons can occasionally bring in some new fans if they're written really well, in most cases, they were jumping off points. And according to the Overnight ratings from these 60th anniversary specials, more people have been jumping off as each one was released. And they're only slightly better than the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker's episodes, and they are anywhere near the 50th anniversary episode. Ouch. Now, earlier on, I said this was going to be my last Doctor Who video, but maybe I'm having second thoughts.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
In all seriousness, they can have it. Who are they? The writers in the Access media like Screen Rant, CBR, and Bleeding Cool, because that's who this show's made for. You pissed off the hardcore fans again. You know, the most important ones. The ones that bring in new fans and, in some cases, literally create them. I used to love sitting down with my kids and watching this show, and now they could give a fuck. I would love to see the 18 to 34 demo on this. And Russell T Davies is just the ultimate disappointment. He wasn't just a gay icon. He was an icon, but now he's just a guy past his prime who's just another activist. And now Doctor Who is destroyed by one of the people who brought it back, RTD, all so they could find that mythical modern audience when it was here all along. We are the modern audience, no different from the past audience, which will be no different from the future audience. You know, the people who love good stories. Now, this may be shocking news to anybody working at Disney Doctor Who, and this goes for the rest of Hollywood as well. The fans you have alienated were the reasonable ones. And now that Russell T Davies has abandoned the fans and replaced the emotional baggage of past Doctor Who with the current baggage from the Chibnall era of intersectional feminism and identity politics, I wish you all the luck in the world with your new allies, but don't step out of line. It took just over 5 decades to make the greatest show ever put on TV and just a few short years to kill it. But they can never take the good stuff from us. Now, black pills are for pussies, but I'm a firm believer in choosing your battles. Doctor Who is gone, and it died long ago, and this is how it ends.
I let you go.
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
You got a prize, honey. Ta-da!